Hi everyone. Welcome to English Story School. Have you ever wondered what your legacy will be? What kind of mark will you leave on this world? Will people remember you as someone who played it safe, or as someone who took risks, overcame obstacles, and left behind a legacy of greatness? You have the power to shape your destiny, but it all starts with one thing: choosing to rise, thrive, and inspire. What would it take for you to do that? What's holding you back from creating a legacy that will outlast you? Let's dive into this journey together. Legacy. It's something we all think about at some point in our lives. But how often do we actively think about the steps it takes to leave a great one? It's easy to get caught up in the grind, to get lost in the day-to-day struggles. But what if you realize that every action you take, every choice you make, is a building block for the legacy you'll leave behind? Let's talk about how you can rise, thrive, and inspire to not just achieve success, but to leave a legacy that will live on long after you. Chapter 1. Rise, the Power of Overcoming Adversity. Meet Mia. She wasn't born with a silver spoon in her mouth. Life, for her, wasn't a smooth journey. It was a series of challenges, each one seeming harder than the last. Mia grew up in a small, nondescript town where the roads to success were narrow and opportunities felt distant, almost like a dream too far to touch. Expectations loomed large, often drowning the few voices that dared to speak of ambitions beyond the mundane. But Mia was different. There was something deep inside her, a fire that no obstacle could put out, an unshakable belief that she could rise despite everything. As a child, Mia had always watched others around her settle into the comfort of their routines, accepting mediocrity as their fate. Most people in her town didn't dream beyond the horizon, for they knew that the world beyond seemed unattainable. But Mia refused to accept that. She had watched her parents struggle, hard-working individuals who never gave up despite the odds stacked against them. From them, Mia learned a simple but powerful truth. Adversity is not the end. It's a test of what you're made of. Life wasn't easy for Mia. Every day felt like a battle against doubt, against fear, against the world that constantly tried to box her in. Yet, there was always this quiet voice inside her head, one that reminded her, "You're not defined by where you come from. You are defined by what you dare to become." And then it happened, a major setback that knocked the wind out of her. A mistake she couldn't undo, a door that slammed shut in her face. In that moment, the weight of the world seemed unbearable. It felt like her entire future was crumbling in front of her eyes. But something inside her snapped. In the midst of the pain, a voice, louder than all the doubts and fears, whispered to her, "This is not your end. It is your beginning." Mia paused. For the first time, she saw herself, not as a victim of her circumstances, but as someone with the power to change her own story. This moment of reflection, a brief but defining pause in her life, became the catalyst for everything that followed. The realization was clear. In order to rise, you must first stop being a victim of your circumstances. She didn't wait for a perfect moment or for life to hand her an opportunity on a silver platter. She understood that waiting would only lead to more waiting. The right moment would never come unless she made it right herself. With that clarity, Mia made a decision that would forever change her life. She would rise. Not tomorrow, not next week, but now. Every morning, despite the weight of her struggles, Mia rose. She rose from the exhaustion, from the pain, from the doubts. Each day became a battle she was willing to fight. The world outside may have been unforgiving, but inside, she felt something stirring. With every ounce of energy she could muster, Mia pressed on. Rise. It's not just about standing up after you fall. It's about refusing to stay down when life pushes you into the dirt. It's about deciding that you will no longer be a bystander in your own life. But rising wasn't easy. There were moments of doubt when she wondered if it was worth it, if all the effort was leading her anywhere. She didn't always feel the strength she needed, and there were days when tears blurred her vision. But Mia knew something that others didn't. True strength isn't built in the easy moments. It's forged in the hard ones. Mia wasn't looking for a miracle to change her life. She understood that miracles don't come to people who wait. They come to those who work relentlessly, even when no one else believes. Slowly, but surely, she began to see the fruits of her labor. The small steps she took forward, each one seemingly insignificant, began to add up. Her determination, her unwavering belief that she was worthy of more, was leading her towards something bigger. Her first breakthrough came when she least expected it, a small opportunity that seemed almost too good to be true. But Mia had learned to recognize the value in small victories. She took that opportunity with both hands, not because she thought it would change her life, but because she knew that success is built one step at a time. Mia learned that rising isn't about waiting for life to soften the blows. It's about developing the resilience to handle them. To rise means to build strength in the face of adversity, to trust in your own ability to push through even when everything feels impossible. Through sleepless nights, failed attempts, and constant sacrifices, Mia's journey continued. And though the path was still far from easy, she had one thing that no challenge could ever take away: the unwavering conviction that she would not be defined by her past, nor by the limitations the world sought to impose upon her. The power of rising is not about perfection or instant success. It's about having the courage to face each day with the belief that you are capable of overcoming whatever comes your way. Mia's story wasn't about being lucky. It was about the relentless pursuit of a dream that seemed impossible to everyone except her. So, Mia kept going. With every setback, she rose. With every failure, she rose. Rising is not about avoiding pain. It's about having the strength to endure it and grow stronger because of it. And with each step forward, Mia's life was transforming. Not just in the way the world saw her, but in the way she saw herself. Her story wasn't one of instant success or flawless victories, but of resilience, hard work, and a refusal to be broken by life's challenges. Mia understood now. To rise is to take control of your destiny. It is to refuse to accept the limitations others place on you and to believe, with every fiber of your being, that your journey is worth the fight. This was just the beginning, and Mia was ready to take the next step. Chapter 2: Thrive, Turning Struggles into Strengths. Mia had learned a hard truth. Rising from adversity, no matter how powerful, wasn't enough. To truly create a legacy that would stand the test of time, she had to thrive. Surviving wasn't the goal anymore. Flourishing was. Thriving was about not just enduring the storms, but harnessing their power to fuel her growth. It was about turning every single struggle into a stepping stone towards something greater, something far beyond what anyone could have imagined for her. She had come a long way since her early days of struggle. The road had been grueling, filled with sleepless nights, self-doubt, and a constant battle against the forces that tried to knock her down. But now, after years of relentless pursuit, Mia stood at the peak of her journey. She had built a business from nothing, literally from the ground up. And as her business grew, so did her understanding of success. But Mia wasn't the kind of person who believed in just getting by. She believed in flourishing. It wasn't enough to simply exist in the world. Mia wanted to create something that was bigger than herself, something that would continue to inspire and uplift others long after she was gone. And so, she did what many before her had failed to do. She turned her struggles into strengths. She didn't let her failures define her. Instead, she used them as a blueprint for how to succeed in ways she never thought possible. Every failure she encountered became a lesson. Every setback she faced was a building block. The pain, the disappointment, the frustration. She transformed them all into fuel for her fire. She understood that thriving wasn't just about achieving personal success. It was about expanding beyond what was expected of her. Thriving was about continuously improving, adapting, and setting new standards both for herself and for those around her. Over the years, Mia faced setbacks that would have broken most people. There were moments when things didn't go as planned, when her business almost collapsed under the weight of unexpected obstacles. The pressure was immense. But Mia didn't back down. She didn't succumb to the feeling of defeat. She dug deeper, reaching within herself to find an untapped reservoir of strength. She had learned how to not only survive the worst of life's challenges, but also how to use those challenges to propel her forward. Then, one day, as she sat reflecting on how far she had come, Mia realized something profound. The true measure of thriving wasn't just her success, but how many others she could help rise with her. Thriving was about reaching your potential and then extending a hand to help others reach theirs. It was about building a community, not just a business. She didn't just want to be the one who succeeded. She wanted to create an environment where others could find their own power to rise, thrive, and break free from their limitations. It was this revelation that shifted everything for Mia. She began mentoring young entrepreneurs, individuals who, like her once, were struggling to get a foothold in a world that didn't always make room for them. She shared her knowledge, her struggles, and her lessons with them. But more importantly, she shared her heart. She told them that success wasn't just about making money or gaining recognition. It was about making an impact, about leaving a mark on the world by helping others unlock their true potential. Mia's business grew not just because she had the skills, the experience, and the resilience, but because she had a vision bigger than herself. Her vision was to build something that was inclusive, something that would allow others to rise alongside her. She didn't view her success as a destination. It was a journey that she wanted to share with everyone who had the courage to dream. The turning point came when Mia received an invitation to speak at a national entrepreneurship conference. It was an incredible opportunity, one that many had dreamed of. Standing before a crowd of aspiring business owners, she shared her story, not as a tale of triumph, but as a journey of perseverance, struggle, and the unwavering belief that thriving is about empowering others to reach their potential. Her words resonated with so many in the audience. She didn't just talk about her own achievements. She spoke about how every success came with its own set of challenges. She talked about the importance of failure, about how it was the foundation of her success. She spoke of what it meant to create something bigger than yourself, something that could inspire generations. She spoke about how thriving isn't just about achieving success. It's about creating a ripple effect, one that continues to inspire and uplift others long after you've gone. That speech was a defining moment for Mia. The response was overwhelming. People reached out to her, seeking guidance, wanting to learn from her experiences. And for the first time, Mia realized just how powerful her journey had become. Her thriving wasn't just about her anymore. It was about the countless lives she could touch. From that moment forward, Mia made it her mission to not only grow her business, but to expand her influence. She took on more events. She started initiatives that would support young, aspiring entrepreneurs from underprivileged backgrounds, and she became an advocate for a new kind of success, one that was defined not by individual achievement, but by the collective rise of a community. Mia had found a new purpose. Thriving wasn't just about making it on your own. It was about lifting others up and ensuring that success was a shared experience. And as her influence continued to grow, Mia knew that she wasn't just creating a business. She was leaving a legacy of greatness, not because of what she had accomplished for herself, but because of what she had inspired others to achieve. Chapter 3: Inspire, the ripple effect of greatness. Mia had built more than just a business. She had created a movement. She wasn't just a successful entrepreneur. She was a catalyst for change, an embodiment of the power of resilience and determination. Her story wasn't just hers anymore. It had evolved into something much larger. It had become a beacon of hope for others, lighting the way for those who were struggling to find their own path to success. In the beginning, Mia had simply focused on her own rise, her personal journey of overcoming adversity, thriving, and building a business. But now, as she reflected on her journey, she realized something profound. To inspire is to ignite a spark in others, to show them that greatness isn't reserved for a select few, but is within reach for anyone who is willing to work for it, to believe in it, and to chase it relentlessly. Mia's story spread like wildfire. It wasn't just shared at conferences or in business circles. It made its way into homes, onto social media, and into the hearts of countless individuals. She didn't simply talk about success. She shared the messy, raw truth about what it took to get there. She spoke about the failures, the sacrifices, the doubts, and the relentless pursuit of something greater. It was this vulnerability, this honesty, that made her story so powerful. Mia showed others that greatness wasn't about perfection. It was about the willingness to fail, to learn, and to keep going. But what Mia never expected was the ripple effect her actions would have on the world around her. Every time she shared her journey, every time she mentored someone or spoke at a conference, a spark was ignited. People didn't just listen, they took action. They were inspired to rise, to thrive, and to make their own impact. Mia had become a mirror for others, reflecting back their own potential. Her success was no longer about her individual achievements. It was about the movement she had created, the lives she had touched, and the change she had sparked in others. Her message, rise, thrive, inspire, resonated deeply with people from all walks of life. She began receiving messages from individuals across the globe, entrepreneurs, students, parents, workers, telling her how her story had transformed their lives. Some shared how they had started their own businesses. Others spoke about how they had found the courage to leave toxic environments or relationships. Some even started mentoring others, spreading the message of resilience and empowerment that Mia had championed. But it wasn't just the individuals who were impacted. Entire communities began to shift. Mia had always known that the power of her story lay not in her individual success, but in how it empowered others to chase their own dreams. But even she couldn't have predicted the depth of the impact. She had sparked a movement that transcended geographical boundaries, social barriers, and cultural differences. Mia's social media platforms became hubs of inspiration and growth. She shared everything: her triumphs, her failures, the lessons she had learned along the way. She never pretended to be perfect, because she knew that perfection wasn't the goal. Inspiration isn't about showing others that you're flawless. It's about showing them that, despite your flaws, you can still rise above, thrive, and make a difference. Her posts weren't just motivational quotes or success stories. They were real, raw glimpses into her life. She shared the late nights spent working on her business, the moments of doubt, the fear of failure, and the joy of finally succeeding against all odds. She didn't just want people to admire her. She wanted them to see themselves in her. She wanted them to know that if she could do it, they could too. Her vulnerability became her strength, and through it, she created a powerful connection with people who felt just as lost and uncertain as she once had. One day, Mia received a message from a young woman named Lily. Lily had been working a dead-end job in a corporate office, feeling unfulfilled and stuck in a routine that seemed to have no way out. She had always dreamed of starting her own business, but the fear of failure held her back. That was until she came across Mia's story. Lily told Mia how she had been inspired to take the leap and finally follow her passion. She had left her job and started her own creative agency. But what made Mia's heart swell with pride was that Lily wasn't stopping there. She was already mentoring others, passing on a message that had so deeply resonated with her. She had become part of the ripple effect that Mia had started years ago. Mia was moved by this message, but more than that, she was in awe of how far the ripple had spread. What started as one woman's journey to rise, thrive, and inspire had evolved into a global movement, one where each person who found the courage to rise past that inspiration onto someone else. Mia realized that a true legacy isn't built on personal success alone. It's built on how much you can inspire others to create their own success, to find their own voice, and to make their own impact. The more Mia mentored and shared her story, the more she realized that the power of inspiration wasn't in the words you spoke or the success you achieved. It was in the actions you inspired in others. It wasn't enough for her to simply tell her story. She had to live it every single day, constantly proving that rising, thriving, and inspiring weren't just words. They were a way of life. As Mia reflected on the journey she had taken, from the small-town girl with big dreams to the global movement leader she had become, she understood one thing with absolute clarity. Inspiration is the ultimate gift we can give to the world. It's the spark that pushes others to break free from their limitations and to believe that anything is possible. And in doing so, we create a ripple effect, a chain reaction of greatness that continues to grow long after we're gone. In the end, Mia realized that her true legacy wasn't in her success. It was in the countless lives she had touched and the movements she had started. She had become a beacon for those lost in the dark, a light that showed others the way forward. To inspire is to give others the power to rise, to thrive, and to leave their own legacy of greatness. And in that, Mia had created something far greater than she had ever dreamed. A world where greatness was not a destination, but a journey that everyone could walk. Chapter 4. Leaving a Legacy. What will you leave behind? One quiet afternoon, as the soft light from the setting sun filtered through the windows of her office, Mia found herself in a moment of reflection. Her journey had taken her further than she had ever imagined. She had risen from the ashes of adversity, thrived against all odds, and inspired countless others to do the same. But now, as she sat alone in the stillness of a room, the question that had always lingered in the back of her mind surfaced with clarity. What will I leave behind? As the weight of the question settled in, Mia realized that the true measure of success wasn't the wealth she had built, nor the accolades or recognition she had received along the way. Success wasn't about what you collected, it was about what you gave away. And what she had given away, over the years, was far more valuable than any business deal or financial gain. She had given her time, her knowledge, her belief, and most importantly, she had given others the tools to believe in themselves. Mia thought about the people who had come into her life over the years, her employees, her mentors, her friends, and the countless strangers who had reached out to thank her for inspiring them. What would they remember her for? What would her children say when they looked back on her life, or her employees when they spoke her name? Mia didn't want to be remembered for the numbers on her paycheck, the fame she had earned, or the buildings she had built. She wanted to be remembered for the way she made people feel empowered, seen, and capable of achieving greatness. Her legacy, she realized, wasn't going to be defined by her business, nor the amount of money in her bank account. The true legacy she would leave behind would be found in the countless lives she had touched, the people she had mentored, the inspiration she had sparked, and the belief she had instilled in others. She had become the example of what it meant to rise, to thrive, and to inspire, not just as a concept, but as a living testament to the power of perseverance and the impact of human connection. Mia's thoughts drifted to the early days of her struggle, when it seemed like nothing would ever work out. She had faced setback after setback, and each failure had seemed like an insurmountable wall. But instead of giving up, she had kept moving forward, one step at a time, no matter how difficult. It was those very struggles that had shaped her, that had forged the woman she had become. A true legacy is not built on perfection. It's built on the ability to rise after every fall, to keep going when everyone else would have quit. It's about resilience, about using failure as fuel for growth, and about turning challenges into stepping stones on the path to success. Mia thought about the women and men she had mentored, the young entrepreneurs who had walked into her office with dreams in their eyes and doubt in their hearts. They came to her with no experience, no clear path, but they had one thing that Mia had recognized immediately: hunger. Hunger to learn, to grow, to make something of themselves. And Mia had given them the gift of knowledge, of guidance, of a belief in themselves that they hadn't known they possessed. Each one of them had become a ripple in the movement Mia had started. They had gone on to create businesses of their own, to help others rise, to build communities that were stronger and more resilient than ever before. It was in their success that Mia found the true measure of her own. Her thoughts shifted to the bigger picture, the world beyond her own circle. Mia knew that her legacy wasn't just about the people she personally mentored or the employees she had empowered. It was about creating a wave of change that could outlast her lifetime. She thought about the countless entrepreneurs who had found her story and used it as a blueprint for their own. She thought about the individuals who had read her book or watched her speak at a conference and been inspired to take action in their own lives. Her legacy would live on in every person who heard her story and decided to take their first step toward greatness. Mia understood now that a true legacy isn't something you can touch or hold in your hands. It's not a building or a bank balance. It's the impact you make on others' lives, the way you lift them up and show them what they're truly capable of. A legacy is not about what you take from the world. It's about what you give. What Mia had given, more than anything, was the belief that anyone could rise above their circumstances, that anyone could thrive, and that anyone could inspire others to do the same. It wasn't the easy moments that defined Mia's legacy, nor the moments of achievement. It was the moments of struggle, of doubt, of failure, where she chose to rise above it all. It was the way she made the people around her feel, the way she helped them see their own potential, to show them that their journey was just as important as her own. True greatness isn't about what you accumulate, but about what you give away, what you leave behind when you're no longer here to guide others. Mia took a deep breath as she looked around her office. She had everything she needed: the success, the respect, the recognition. But it wasn't enough. The question she had asked herself earlier had an even greater meaning now. What would she leave behind? What she would leave behind wasn't her wealth, or her business, or even her name. It would be the inspiration that had spread like wildfire, touching lives in ways she couldn't have predicted. She stood up, walked to the window, and gazed out at the city below. It was bustling with life, full of people chasing their dreams, fighting their battles. Mia smiled. She had done her part. Now it was time to leave the world with something that would live on long after she was gone, a legacy of greatness that would inspire generations to come. A true legacy is not about what you take, but about what you give. Mia had given the world the most valuable gift of all, the belief that greatness was within everyone's reach. And in that, she had left a legacy that would inspire others long after she was gone. Chapter 5. The Call to Action. Your legacy starts now. So here we are. What about you? What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? It's a question that may seem daunting at first, but let me tell you this. The answer isn't found in the distant future. It starts right here, right now. The moment you choose to rise above your circumstances, to push past your fears and doubts, and to take action toward becoming the person you're meant to be, that is the moment your legacy begins. Mia's journey wasn't defined by where she started, but by what she did with the time and opportunities she was given. And that's the truth for all of us. Your story doesn't have to begin with perfection. It just has to begin with courage. The path to greatness isn't a straight line. It's full of twists, turns, and obstacles. But it's through those challenges that your true potential is revealed. The key is not to fear those obstacles, but to embrace them as the stepping stones to your greatness. Every single day is an opportunity to rise. Rise above your doubts, rise above your fears, and rise above the limiting beliefs that hold you back. It doesn't matter where you come from, what your background is, or how many times you've failed. What matters is what you do now. The time to act is always in the present. The moment you decide that you're not going to wait for a perfect opportunity, but instead, you're going to create your own opportunities, is the moment your story takes on a new direction. It's the moment you start living intentionally. Mia didn't wait for the world to hand her success. She didn't sit around hoping that the perfect circumstances would come into her life. No, she made the decision to rise every single day, no matter how difficult it was, no matter how impossible it seemed. And that's the same choice you can make. You can choose to rise, to thrive, and to inspire, no matter where you are in life right now. Greatness isn't a gift reserved for the chosen few. It's not something only a select group of people are born with. Greatness is a decision. It's the decision to take responsibility for your own life and your own actions. It's the decision to stop making excuses and start making progress. It's the decision to take the struggles, the pain, the hardships, and use them as fuel for your growth. Greatness is born from a mindset that refuses to accept anything less than the best you can be. So what is holding you back? Is it fear? Is it doubt? Or perhaps it's the feeling that your dreams are too big, too impossible to reach? Let me remind you of something Mia discovered along her journey. The obstacles you face are not roadblocks. They are opportunities for growth. Every time you feel like giving up, that is the moment you must push harder. Every failure is a lesson in disguise, showing you a better way, helping you refine your approach and grow stronger. Now, I want you to think about your own legacy, not in the distant future, but in the present. Every day is a blank page, and the story you write today will shape the person you become tomorrow. What do you want your story to say? When people talk about you, what do you want them to remember? Do you want them to remember you as someone who played it safe, who waited for the perfect moment, who let life's challenges define them? Or do you want to be remembered as someone who dared to take risks, who faced adversity head-on, and who lived a life that inspired others to do the same? The truth is, the world is waiting for your story. The world is waiting for you to take action, to make a difference, to leave a legacy that will inspire future generations. The world needs more people who are willing to rise, thrive, and inspire, not just for their own success, but for the success of others. When you choose to live with purpose and intention, you don't just change your life, you change the lives of everyone around you. Mia's story is a testament to what can happen when you decide to make your life more than just about surviving. When you choose to rise above your circumstances, thrive in the face of adversity, and inspire others to do the same, you create a ripple effect that spreads far beyond your own reach. Your legacy is a gift that keeps on giving. It lives on in the lives you touch, the people you empower, and the inspiration you spark in others. But this isn't just about Mia. This is about you. The choice is yours. Your legacy starts now. You can choose to rise from where you are, no matter what your situation is. You can choose to thrive by taking your struggles and turning them into strength. You can choose to inspire by sharing your story and encouraging others to take action in their own lives. Your legacy isn't something you have to wait for. It's something you create with every choice you make, every action you take, and every person you inspire along the way. It doesn't matter where you are today. What matters is what you do next. Every small step you take toward your dreams is a step toward your legacy. So, ask yourself, what will you do today to make a difference? What action will you take to start living your legacy right now? The world is waiting for your story, and it's time to begin. Your time is now. Rise, thrive, inspire. The world is waiting for you. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.